welcome to the Sunday Safari for March. It's incredible to be live with you again. I have missed it terribly, and it's so great to be out here on Rietspruit on such a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We are heading north generally towards where some lions were seen this morning, in the direction of where lots of good rhino sightings have been recently, where the number 13 cow and her beautiful precious calf, who you will be updated on our YouTube very soon. Everybody is up in the north, so we're going to head in that direction and see what luck we get this afternoon. And before we really head on our way, let me say hello to all of you. Hi Becky, hello Barbara, hello Elsa, Mary and Brian and Betty, and who else? Jan, Carol, good to see all of you. If I've missed any of you, please send me an extra wave so that I can be like, hi. Are there good tracks here? Andrew's pointing to the floor. Are they baby rhino tracks, or are they just like medium baby rhino tracks? I'm gonna put my nose in here. Okay, I did see what you had there. Can't see them here, but I'll keep an eye out there. The tracks are going in the opposite direction. Okay, that's in the corridor. So I was waiting for an update that was going to tell me what was going on. Because nobody's... They are quite small, but I don't think they're small enough to be the new one. What do you think? No? The deceiving thing about this new baby rhino and all new baby rhinos is that their feet are much bigger. What have you seen? Much bigger. His little ankle feels like it's the size of my wrist, and then his foot is like a dinner plate. Not quite, but it feels like that. So tracking is tricky. They are small rhino tracks, but I don't think that they're small enough. Anyway, they're going in this direction, and he was born quite far in the north. It's not impossible that mom is moving him around, but it's unlikely that she'll have moved so far. Of course, it's not that far from the northern parts of the Slandsloot to south of Seskankrip, but it's far enough that it would be pushing, I think, his comfort zone. Although after maybe 10 days, he must be finding his legs and settling into being a little rhino on the Rietspruit. I would love to show him. Love for all of you to see him. Oh yes, we do. Hello, we have Andrew on camera this afternoon. His wrist is okay, everybody. It's okay, and it's getting better. Hello Michael, hello Canadian. Nice to have you guys with us. So he's mending. He doesn't really make, well, he makes wise choices, but then he pushes himself and then he hurts it. So we have to be strict so that Andrew doesn't hurt his wrist further. We need him. We need our cameramen strong. Quite nice. I don't know. Tricky. Gives us a good base from which to come back to if we feel we are going to head in this direction. But for now, we're going to continue north. Oh, I spy in the distance some zebras, so that's really nice. Hi everybody, hello. How are you?
Good, Andrew.
Good, hi. Yeah, we're a media company. Yeah, we're broadcasting live now, but we also do other stuff on YouTube. Yeah. YouTube, just generally, and all our Patreons. Yeah. Come join us.
I would love to. Let us know if you need us.
Check.
Levan is a cameraman.
Oh really?
It's Cinefx operator.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Check us out.
Sorry?
Check us out online.
I'll take a photo of you.
Take a photo of us.
There is a cute baby zebra.
Oh, we're going to go have a look. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
I did have an elephant bull at Hyenas maybe 2 hours ago coming north.
Okay.
He was in must, so just check out. But he's very gentle. We actually had a good, relaxed. Yeah, really? I promise. Nice to meet you all. Yes, I'm spilling the beans to other people. There was a beautiful elephant bull at Hyenas about an hour and a half before we went live. I went to check for him, but there was no immediate sign. Anyway, there's some incredible zebra up front. Andrew, if I park here, can you get that little one? Sorry, the radio is quite busy. Hello, Matty. Nice of you to join us. Becky, I'm so glad the picture's good. We're trying out new techniques, so I'm glad it's working. Look at this zebra foal. Oh, there's another one just to the right of it. They're coming into frame and moving out. Of course, also the vervet monkey, they have to make an appearance. It's quite a decent sized harem of zebra here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them. 2 foals roughly the same age. They don't look very old at all. A couple of months. They don't have that delicate look of a brand new foal, but they're still very petite. By the time they get to a year old, they're almost the size of their mother. So between how fragile they look when they're newborn and knowing that they're nearly the size of their mother, just smaller when they're a year old, I'd probably put this one around 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. There's also an oxpecker that landed on the back of the mare, just behind, but that's okay. Oh, there you go. I did see it, but I think it might have moved off, Andrew. Look at the tails of these zebra at the moment, everybody. They are swishing profusely. Oh, that's a great pattern on the zebra's flank there of the stripes where it's sustained an injury and then it's healed a little bit offset from how the stripe initially happened. And you see there would have been 2 cuts where it looks like a chessboard is where each of the cuts would have occurred, lacerations that have meant that the skin is healed and the stripes have not lined up. So that's actually interesting because it would have had 2 parallel cuts, perhaps from being, anything, probably not bitten by another zebra because it's too long, but kicked, I think more likely scratched by something, just because it's the 2 parallel lines. I would imagine it would have happened around the same time. But of course we weren't there, so we'll never know for sure. Hello, Francie. Hello, Marisha. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So nice to have all you people with us. Fantastic to have a busy drive and have everybody there. Canadian says, Andrew, you have to stop overdoing it. What if you get shaky, then you won't get the wonderful pictures? You know what? Andrew's superpower is that he's always shaky and he still gets the great pictures. That's a beautiful shot there. Look at that. Drinking. So this will definitely be the mother of this foal, even though they are group or herd animals. They don't allosuckle. So if a zebra will not let other foals suckle from her. Typically they'll suckle for about, start weaning around 6 months and are fully weaned by about 8 months. The one just to the right of the frame is a little smaller than the one on the left that is suckling. It's also got more of that darker coloration that they, you know, browns and more fuzz. Also indications that it is younger. That fuzziness is a really clever tactic in nature to help babies blend better with their environments. So I think the foal that's now in the center of the screen is relying more heavily on milk than the one a little bit further back. There you go. We can see they're just milling around, feeding. The scene is actually so beautiful. There's 6 of them. I thought I saw 7 earlier, but I can only see 6 now. Possible that there are more. Beautiful. It's so nice to see some zebra. Michael, are you asking if I've seen any of the other subspecies of zebra? Goodness, you are actually, I mean, I have definitely seen ample mountain zebra. They are one species that I know for sure that I've seen. Other than that, I'm trying to think if I've seen some of the other species, but in captivity. I haven't yet been to East Africa, and that's where we'll start seeing certain different species as well. But the species that we get here largely is the plains zebra. And then in other areas of South Africa, the mountain zebra. The plains zebra is the most widely spread zebra. Of course, there's also the gravy zebra. And then, so the plains zebra used to be known as the Burchell's zebra, but now they are terming the Burchell zebra a subspecies of the plains zebra. And actually, this is not it's a perfect zebra, but it's not a good zebra for what I'm trying to describe. The Burchell zebra is the subspecies of plains zebra that have the shadow stripe, the brown stripe in between the white stripes. That foal on the right of the frame, Andrew's kind of got it. This is not a great herd for that. Doesn't seem to be a strong genetic in this herd, the shadow stripe. But you can see there on the individual, on the left now of the screen, the older foal, that there is a little bit of coloration on the white, which is the shadow stripe. That is unique to the subspecies of plain zebra known as the Burchell zebra. That one there also has it. There's also some impala that have made their way into the shot. That's nice. We always love a good impala sighting on Rietspruit because we know that they can be nervous. I don't know if I've ever told this story on Live Drive, but since the zebra is showing us its tail so beautifully, I once had a guest with a completely serious deadpan face ask me who gets up in the morning to braid the zebra's tails. They thought, they were convinced that the markings on the tail, the black, you can see the adult has it quite nicely there, the black slender stripe down the center of the tail, and then the little stripes that come off the side of it, does look a little bit like a braid. But when you pick your binoculars up and you have a look, you know for sure that that's not braided, and anybody who wants to braid the tail of a zebra will probably lose their front teeth. This one doesn't have it too clearly, but it's such an adorable little baby zebra bottom. Hello, Rosemary. Nice of you to join us. We have a herd of zebra. There are monkeys around here. And I almost heard one try an alarm call and then it changed its mind. Anyway, just to come back to Michael Fleetwood's, it's not directly your question, but just to clarify, the zebra subspecies conversation and species conversation and how many species there are is actually quite an extensive conversation, and one that a lot of scientists don't really agree on where it's separated and how it's separated. It seems that the train of thought is that there are 3 main species, and then under them they have various subspecies. So plain zebra, mountain zebra, and the gravy zebra are the 3 main species, and then there are subspecies under that. Plain zebra has the most prolific amount of subspecies. 4 subspecies belong to the plain zebra. The quagga also used to be one, but since that no longer exists, it doesn't count, since it's extinct. And then interestingly, the gravy zebra actually has no recognized subspecies. Did she just say cheetah? Anybody hear her? I hope not, because I didn't get that update at all. Andrew, I don't know if I'm going to make your life really difficult, but there's a beautiful golden orb spider. Is that possible over there? Not really. I can move the car. Just on our left, I just noticed that there's a stunning lady who's also in this sighting.
I'm just trying to find it. Sorry.
Golden orb, no worries. Close. Okay, yeah. Oh, you got her?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. So you can see now the female is significantly larger than the male. In fact, from where I'm sitting, there's almost no way I'd be able to see the male unless he was trying to approach the female. And approaching the female would be very brave, because even though he needs to approach her to be able to breed with her, he will more than likely become her next meal after he has done what he needs to do. So he's got to play his cards right with this beautiful big female. She's actually not the biggest I've seen. And oh, there is a cheetah. Hold on. Please can you go with the details of that sighting?
On Brobank, East Extend, 200 meters away from Sports Place. Now they are mobile north along the same side.
Great, thank you. Just to confirm, is it the males or the female?
The males.
Got it. Okay, that's great news, everybody. They're far, far away, literally in the opposite corner to where we are. But really good to know that the males are together. We had a sighting not too long ago. If you watched the wild dog sighting, one of the wild dog feeding videos, you will have seen that a male cheetah came through that sighting, and he was calling for his brother, and since then they actually haven't been seen or found. So we were a little bit concerned as to where the brother might be, but now they've been found together, which is of course a fabulous relief. Mary says, yay, an orb web spider. Mary, only you can react like that to an orb web spider. We react like that as well. We really enjoy them. They really are beautiful. And they're quite complex. I mean, the female will produce egg sacs that will contain up to 1,000 eggs. So that's a pretty impressive reproductive display. Speaking of displays, the male, although she might eat him, he actually doesn't get to just saunter in and mate with her. He has to perform for her. It's known as the courtship dance, but he will display for the female before she accepts him for copulation. Those monkeys bouncing around sound like an elephant. They're breaking branches so much. I say, Canadian, I didn't say gravy zebra or zebra gravy. That wouldn't be right. I said the gravies zebra. It does sound very similar, but it's one of the species of zebra. We don't want to be talking about zebras and gravy in the same sentence. That could be very misconstrued. Zebra gravy. Sounds terrible. Okay, everybody. We've had spiders, zebras, impala. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. Beautiful start as well. Let's carry on. I really want to get to Sequoia Dam. I mean, not Sequoia, what am I saying? Pofada Dam, where the lionesses were left this morning. I feel like I'm having a lion sabbatical. No, we've seen a lot of the males. That's not entirely true. We've had some amazing, look at all that, they're amazing, yeah! We've had some fantastic sightings of the males lately, but we haven't really seen much of the girls. So it'll be wonderful to find those lionesses. It would also be wonderful to find the elephant bull, who Andrew and I had a very close encounter with this afternoon. I'll tell you about that in a minute. We're just going to pass some people here. Hello, hello, hello. Is it permit time? Yes, please. No. I get to ask you for permits.
No. I represent the standard permit. How's it all?
Good, how are you?
Okay. We thought, oh no, you've got some fancy sighting and you haven't called it in.
No.
I'm just checking.
No, I'm not one of those. We had a golden orb-web spider and some zebra.
It's their time now, the golden orbs to come out.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I know, except when you walk into their
I know, and then their webs.
They kind of creep me out.
It's like walking into a bunch of hair strung across
but then you look and you got this thing.
Ooh.
So you didn't crack a nod to the...
No, we'll go after. Are you going to pop in?
No, I told them I was for the youngsters.
10 minutes.
I was going to go and then I thought,
we'll go later.
I thought if it's...
Yeah.
I'm
Beyond it.
I'm getting a bit too old for this shit.
Yeah, you look it. Just kidding, I'm just kidding.
No, you better not even come on to me.
Gotta go. You gotta keep your friendships going with Humphrey. He maintains all the fences. He's the best. And I was telling you, and my thought process is everywhere. Okay, so first let's start with the elephant sighting that we had this afternoon. Then I'll talk again about the spiders, and then I'll answer your question, Becky. So we had an elephant bull in camp today. He drank from the reservoir at Giraffe Cam. Of course that camera's not working. Something between the monkey and the rain has undone it, and so it hasn't yet recovered. But he drank there, and then he moved directly west into the thicket. And Andrew and I, we were on ×2 speed, running around, getting ourselves ready to head out and try and find him, because we need to see him. And by the time we got to him, you seen something, Andrew? Yeah, Gareth did say there were leopard tracks here this morning, about 7 a.m. Oh, there's another set that go up the road. Well, that's promising. We're going to continue up this road slowly. Oh, I would be so happy. It's about time I put a leopard on live drive. So we headed out, and in the process of heading out, we lost him. We couldn't find him. In the time it took us to get ready, he was gone. Absolutely gone. Disappeared. So we sped up the Hyenas airstrip and turned a corner, and as we turned a corner, we were pretty much on top of him. And at the best of time, you don't want to be giving the Rietspruit elephants a fright, but this elephant was also in very significant must. So, thank goodness. He got a fright, we got a fright, everybody just acknowledged this is Fright Central. And he pushed us a little bit, and we obliged because we were in between the thick stuff and there was an elephant basically on my bonnet. Not by his doing, not by my doing. Well, by my doing, definitely. So that was our afternoon. We got some of it on camera. It's tricky to get that kind of thing on camera because it just is. You know, when you're not expecting it and it happens, you're never as ready as you hope you're going to be. So, but it was fun, and he was very nice and relaxed, and I was very grateful, and we enjoyed him in his early must phase. He was very smelly. Had a lot of secretions, both coming out of his temporal glands and his penis sheath. He was very leaky. And then we left him. We let him carry on. I did try and start drive with him. I thought he was heading towards Lemundur and Krip, which he may very well have. I didn't see his tracks though, so maybe he was behind us. Any sightings of the male cheetahs? Becky, they have been found. They're on the other side of the reserve. We have only seen one of them recently, and this is the first time that they've been seen since we saw that one. So good news to know that they're both fine and are together. Because we have angled our drive in a completely opposite direction, it's very unlikely that we're going to get there this afternoon. But maybe what we can do is try and head out and find them tomorrow, and then film something and give you guys something to see about our cheetah boys. It would be lovely to see them. I was getting worried about them. Gareth and I tracked them. Oh, they were seen once before because we had their tracks, and then we were told that they were seen a little earlier in that day, but we were unsuccessful tracking them. Sounds like though that they are right by. Also, the other reason I'm not zooming is that they're making for the corridor. So perhaps they've done a sneaky blowbunk loop and are heading into Kaya for a little Kaya territorial patrol. They must be starting to seek out Mabai as well. She's maybe not just yet, but very soon she's going to start coming into estrus. Her cub was 14 months in December, so 17 months now. Ooh, it's getting close. Time is getting short for that mama and daughter duo. I'd love a good couple of sightings. Maybe we'll find them this afternoon. We have suspicions that they're hanging out in the west. When they go quiet for a couple of days, they probably are
pulling out of the elephant
in the west. Oh, I would be so happy if we found them. That would make my evening. Andrew and I were just chatting that it's been quite quiet with big charismatic species of game lately. We've had some amazing things, but you know, when we saw the elephant today, it was the first time an elephant had been at Hyenas in about 2 weeks. Not complaining, because sometimes when they come to Hyenas, they completely obliterate the vegetation in and around our garden. But yeah, it's just out of character for them to spend so much time away. But I guess also what must be said is a lot of our time has been spent maintaining and following up on and checking in on the wild dogs. who are doing so incredibly well. If you joined us on our pack chat on Monday afternoon, you would have had a few of those details, but they are so bonded as a pack. They are, all 4 of them are in the boma. We did nothing to manipulate the females to go in there with the males. We just fed them together one afternoon, and the females slipped into the boma, and because they had been experiencing the males from outside the boma, and because they're probably very ready to breed as well, they're at a perfect, the stage is just perfect. The dynamic couldn't have been better, and they formed a very cohesive pack. At least inside the boma, it's a cohesive pack. But we have every reason to believe that when we eventually get the males out the boma, that's been a saga. They will
coming down the fence line.
fare well in the wild. Did you hear that?
And they still practice, so there's more than enough time.
Thank you.
Nope. Yes, Mary, we've had hyenas on cam, we've had amazing tracks of them, and we even had a sighting of one, which was super cool. We chatted about that again on last Monday, or this most recent Monday. But yeah, that's the only sighting. We're hearing them most nights now, which is very encouraging. And I really hope that when the wild dogs get out the boma, the hyenas that are hanging around will smell them, and a normal hyena wild dog dynamic will start to play out, where hyenas trail wild dogs to be able to scavenge off any scraps and steal any parts of the meal that the wild dogs have caught. So it's possible with a pack of 4 that there will be a little bit more hyena activity, at least recorded and documented. We're seeing hyena signs, we're hearing hyena audio, but we're not actually seeing the animals as frequently as we would have liked. Betty, that spider can be up to an inch or even more actually. There's one at Haste that is, she's gigantic. She's, I want to say as big as my ear. Her body, and then she's got legs, so she's a really big girl. Hyena number 2 was there last night. Thank you so much, Carol. That's awesome. Awesome that you saw it there last night. We did hear it calling. Was it last night that we... No, we didn't braai last night. No, the night before we heard it calling. Yeah, we're getting very lucky with hyena audio. What's that? What's the bird? Oh, southern black tit. It's gone. Oh, that's a flycatcher. Oh, go back. Did you get it? Did you not really? That looked like a chin spot, but it's a bit smaller. It's gone into the thick stuff now. It's going to be very difficult to see. That wasn't what I saw, I don't think, initially. What I saw initially was a bit bigger. Just interesting because they're very, like, more similar in color. Oh, look at you! Hi, yellow-billed hornbill, eating termites. Oh, that's so cool. You see all the mud that's attached to this acacia. Oop, there you go, breaking it. Now that mud is formed from termites who build muddy encasements like that so that they can function beneath the mud so that they're not affected by the sun. This hornbill has learned that there is a great source of protein just beneath the mud. See how he's using his bill to dislodge the mud and then eat the termites. This is incredible. I don't think I've actually ever seen them doing this. But it makes total sense. I also haven't seen, you don't often see termite activity so high up a tree especially not a tree with green leaves. It's going to have to eat a lot of termites because they're tiny. It's a beautiful movement of him putting it in its mouth and then flicking it to the back of its throat to be able to swallow it. This is so great. Every now and then it shakes its feet. I wonder if there are termites that are crawling up its legs. Let me check with my binoculars. Not that I can see, but it wouldn't surprise me if every now and then something funny crawled up its leg. He's creating mass devastation for these termites. I don't know if it's possible to see the termites. They're those little white things that every now and then you'll watch moving around. That's what a termite looks like. So fun fact, termite is actually part of the cockroach family. Who would have thought? I don't initially come across that way, but it is true. So it's not uncommon to watch these yellow-billed hornbills feeding on termites. Termites are an excellent source of protein, but they are omnivores. So you could just as easily watch them eating things like seeds and fruits. When the dung beetles are prolific, you'll see them crunching on dung beetles and throwing dung beetles on the ground so that they can tenderize them before they eat them. Termites form a significant portion of, well, a lot of animals will eat termites, even when they're in their elate form. Even things like leopards and jackals and bigger mammals will feed on termites. It's hard to see, but the mechanism that this hornbill is using is both bill and tongue working together to gather these termites into its mouth. Are you hearing, Canadian, are you hearing purring? There's a bit of mechanical noise behind me, and when that amps up it's a little bit like a zzzz, I don't know. But Andrew says he's not purring. Yeah, I think it's just the tick that you're hearing. And then just to speak to what you're talking about, Canadian, on the app, we're actually moving away from the app. So the app on, I think on one of the, is it on the Androids or is it on the iOS, the Apple? It's already obsolete, and it will become on the Apple App Store as well. It's just become a forum that is no longer, it's not easy to maintain, it's not easy to use, and the yield from the app is kind of not, doesn't justify the amount of effort it would take to get the app really smooth and functioning at optimal levels. So we have moved away a little bit from the app. That might be why you can't download it to your new phone or onto your tablet. Some people are still able to use those, but certainly not new downloads are not going to be successful on that. The lighting is so pretty now on this hornbill. There is a second hornbill in the tree bouncing around. So this will be probably a mating, a pair of hornbills. They do pair up. So lovely. So nice to see you, and such interesting behavior as well. Andrew Canadian says that your purring sounds lovely. Very mechanical. Just kidding. All right. I'm keen to carry on so that we can get to Pofada Dam. If we get to Pofada, then we can try and find those lionesses before they get moving. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Is this, do you want me to turn around? So we just got a Nyala bull here in exquisite lighting. There are some females behind him, but he was perfect, and the light is just, it's just amazing at the moment. Don't run away. Now that's a very impressive Nyala. There you can see the females. They might come out the other side. Not really. They're playing hard to get. I love how diverse Nyalas are, how the females look like one animal and the males look like a completely different animal. There's a young one in the middle there, so two females and a young one. They are feeding. Oh, she's actually quite, she looks like she could be pregnant, the female on the right that's in focus there. Not you, you're too young. They look lovely. They're all in great condition. Everything's in great condition this time of the year. It's a time of plenty. Sometimes the lions take a little bit of strain. Becky, seems like forever since you've seen Kinky Tail and Elvis. Oh, they're around, trust me. Talking about the dominant male lions of the Rietspruit Game Reserve. We've had some great sightings of them recently. They are such beautiful males. It's amazing. You know, often we forget how privileged we are to spend time with all these animals, but the other day Gareth and I were out trying to film some great content for all of you, and we were heading to try and find the baby rhino, and we found the male lions, and they had obviously just had a meal, but they were looking spectacular. They were looking humongous. And they were beautiful. They roared, they groomed, they flopped over, and they went to sleep. Ooh, did you see that female chasing the young one away? Clearly she wants to feed on whatever's over there. Is that a young male behind her to the left? I think so. Yeah, so there's two in frame. The one on the left-hand side is actually a young male, and he looks just like a female, so that the dominant male who's coming out on the left-hand side, or other males, will let him hang out with his mother for longer. So what happens a lot in nature is how the babies look like their mothers for as long as possible, so that the males of the species are more accepting of them for longer. And the longer they're in their mother's care, the better it is for them, the stronger their chances of survival. Amazing. Oh, they're all coming this way now. That's so cool. Of course, yes, Michael. Every stripe pattern is like a fingerprint on these Nyalas, which makes them just that much more special. Here comes the crew. Now if you look really closely, you can see little horns on his head. That's the only indication for now that it's a male. His coloration is still entirely like the females, that rich caramel color. He is beautiful. Okay, well they're going exactly where we want to go, which is fine by me because we'll get another little view at them. Turn around. Right, let's watch them cross the road again. Here he is, little boy. There is a bit of colour change around his neck that'll become more distinct, of course. And a lovely young female. Hi! Oh, she's posing for us. Now her stripe pattern is actually quite unique with that thicker line midway down her flank. She didn't stick around long enough for me to point it out. That was lovely! A nice little Nyala sighting. I was telling Gareth recently that I don't know when last I saw a Nyala bull on this reserve. And then the day after I said that to him, we saw one, and then we've now seen another one, so they're just here to prove, oh, there's more. I don't want to, am I too high? No, that'll be fine. There's a little one there, that's so cute. Hi, sweetie. Your ears look too big for your head. All the better to hear us with. The way they're all flapping to get rid of the flies, it looks like they could take off. Our parasite, especially fly load, has been higher than normal this year. With all the heat waves, it's been optimal conditions for flies to breed, so we're experiencing a significantly higher fly load than we normally do. Which, honestly, if I'm very frank, is very inconvenient. We do not like a massive amount of flies. She's also got a unique pattern where they crisscross. You're right, Betty, it is a bit of a bumper afternoon, one sighting after another. Something interesting to see around every corner on Rietspruit. We love it. We love it when it's like that. We knew there would be a good reason to come north. And we haven't even crossed from Blowbank onto Leadwood, which was our intention. The grass is so long, all the Nyala that went off into the grass are barely visible. Oh, it is cute, isn't it, Michael? Baby antelope are very adorable, particularly the ones with the massive ears. Okay, we're going to look left and right properly, thoroughly when we go through this riverbed, just in case. Leopards. Oh yeah, this is so cool. Super duper. I want to try and get a good angle on. I don't know if we're going to be able to put the web on. Is it possible? So sorry, Andrew, what I want to show is the portion of the web that's a little bit low down, not the spider, so if you go down, you see the golden section, I think you've got it there, yeah, right in the center of the frame. So this is awesome, thank you. There you go, now that is the web of the golden orb web, and what I was chatting to Humphrey about, the homeowner who we passed just now, was he says he keeps walking into their nests or their webs, which is far more unpleasant than you might imagine, because I'm going to show you their web. I'm not going to disrupt that spider, but I'll show you with my hair. Their web is the only thing that I've found in nature that is the same as a human's hair. So if you listen to this noise that I'm going to do with my own, can you hear this? That click. That is me breaking a piece of my hair. That is the noise that it makes when you get one of those fibers wrapped around your fingers and you actually pull it apart. They are much stronger than you might realize. We did some research on them recently because we were chatting about how they've used the technology of spider webs in bulletproof vests, because it is pound for pound stronger than steel. How crazy is that? Amazing. Nature is amazing. I need a bit of momentum. Hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to end up bouncing all the way up. Let's put the vehicle into it in assisted mode. Way more pleasant for cameramen when you put it into low range, eh? And drivers. Way more pleasant for drivers too. Okay. We're getting, is that like an anchor strand? Canadian, actually we were looking at a central part of the web. It was lower down, but there were lots of thick strands that were overlapping in that area. But no, it wasn't one of the key anchor, if that's what they're called. What are they called? Anchor strands. I'm just checking my map because we are now in the west. Okay, we're going to pop up onto Twin Crossings and then we're going to head towards Pofadderdaam. We spend more time in the far east than we do in the far west. But when there are lions in this area, of course we must come. It's also actually a great area for rhino, so I have hopes. I have high hopes. And keep an eye on the road as well in case they've come east from where they were this morning. I'm hoping that they were well fed and sleeping and now they're starting to groom. I have these visions of beautiful lions and beautiful light. Speaking of webs, I've got one somewhere on my face, I can feel it. The mountain looks beautiful, everything's so pretty in this lighting. Turn around for you, Andrew. Or I'll put it like this. Is this fine? Cool. It's a bumper afternoon, siding after siding. Have two young male giraffe and a herd of impala here. The other male is a little bit further to the right and not as easy to put on camera, so we're going to enjoy the one that's currently in front of us. He's having dinner. You can see the impala moving in between his legs now. I love that. I love the framing of a giraffe's legs for other animals because they're so tall and elongated. They just stand above everything else, so you can get some interesting photographs of other species walking behind or even in front of giraffe, and the giraffe legs framing the animal. Look at what he's eating. Impala coming back. Tricky to tell from here what he's feeding on. At the bottom it looks like a buffalo thorn. When I move further up, the leaf structure is not a buffalo thorn. You can see the jaw beautifully there as he bends over. It's not a view you often get of a giraffe. Beautiful and peaceful to be with him this evening. He's a little bit obscured now, but he's so stunning. Am I going to be in your way?
No, of course not.
You're trying to get the impala. There you go, nice. Young males. A couple of young males. There's a female in the mix there as well. November. These males, based on their horn length and shape. They were not born in the most recent lambing season. They were born the season before that. Hey Judy, nice to see you. Julie? We have had an amazing drive thus far, and we're hoping it's going to only get better. Because we are going to leave these giraffe and head towards the last position of the lions. Giraffe and impala. How dare I forget the impala. Impala! Very beautiful, yeah. All of you have very cold weather that you're reporting on. Janine and Barbara have cold weather, although Barbara doesn't look like it's nearly as cold as, what is Janine's? Minus 23 degrees Celsius. That is not an attractive temperature. Minus 23 degrees Celsius. We should start to keep an eye out. We're not that far. We're not there yet either though, so it's one of those things. Lions could move. Obviously, if they do move, then we don't have much control over that, but We're hoping we'll find them. Rocky and bumpy here. There's always rhino in this part of the reserve as well. I would be very thrilled with a rhino. But since we've had so many cool things, I can scarcely be picky what we see next, can I? Well, this is going to be a bit of a bump. Bump. The lionesses were left on the fence line a little further west of where we are now, and of course it's been raining. Well, it's summer, so water is not something that we're very scarce of. Well, that is very scarce at the moment, but hopefully these lionesses have come to drink and settle down somewhere near this dam. Oh my goodness, it is so majestic. I'm gonna line Andrew up for a mountain marvel minute. The sun is epic and beautiful and majestic. It's very pretty at the moment. To think this dam was completely dried up in the dry season. That's amazing. I'm going to give it a minute. Doesn't that look like a movie scene? One word, everybody. One word to describe the view that's in front of us right now. What is it? What is the word you would use to describe this view? I'm excited to see what all your words are. while I get my YouTube back because it's vanished. This shoulder season, just before we head into autumn, is such a great time of the year for sunsets. Sunsets get big. You've got a fly on the lens. I don't know if anybody saw that. Oh, not that. That was Andrew. But if anybody saw the fly that was moving around the lens, that is an indication of the life that we have been living in the wild for the last couple of months. There's always a fly on everything. Okay, Mary's one word is I'd imagine it said like that, Mary, right? Like a happy, contented, beautiful. Marisha, I agree with you. It is beyond beautiful. You can hear that emerald spotted wood dove in the background. A quintessential bush sound. Lots of movement, gentle ripples in this dam. It's not a completely still afternoon. It's a bit of a breeze which contributes. I can see why this is the rhinos, one of the rhinos' favorite spots. It's beautiful. I wonder if they have an appreciation for beauty. Serene, Canadian, definitely. Janine, tranquil, absolutely. Brian, gorgeous. Hi Brian, have I said hello to you? Becky, you should be sitting here with a cup of tea absorbing everything. Folks, I'm just going to sit here until the sun sets behind the mountain. It should be another 2 minutes or so, but it'll be lovely to watch that setting sun there. You can already see that it's starting to vanish behind the northern Drakensberg. Heavy breakup. Everybody's saying we have a really bad breakup. Not sure why. Let me see if I can ask VM about it. And there it is, the sun has set. A lot of you are saying that we've got a lot of breakup, so what I'm going to do is leave this exquisite, exquisite scene. It's so pretty. Okay, I'll move a little bit further back. Might be the water that's interfering. But it's beautiful. Anyway, we've spent some good time soaking up this view. Let's carry on. See if we can catch up with the lions. Yeah, probably the water. Oh, those clouds didn't not actually look. They look like they could bring a bit of rain. I don't think anytime soon though. Touch wood. I don't want to get wet out here. There we go. All of you are saying it's looking better. I'm glad it's looking better. Let's head towards the fence, which is just going to be roughly where the lions were. Well, they were on the fence. So let's go this way.
Heading northeast. So I'm leaving this side into if I can find them in the corridor.
Everything's kicking off around the corridor. No, not everything. People are just there with the elephants and the cheetah. Not together. Separate sightings, other side of the reserve. Come on, Leons. Bouncy here. Nobody's come into this area to see if they could find these lions again, so we are the first and the only. Now would be a great time as well for them to start roaring. And we'd be able to find them. Just about on the corner. I haven't seen any lion tracks heading this way yet.
Go ahead, Nyala. What's your look? I'm going to say heading north. Thanks. I thought maybe you always to check on the female line. Thanks. Yeah, it's Kachani, man. I think these guys, they don't want to talk to us.
Guys are tracking lions. They say they think the lions don't want to be seen. I'm sure that I have hope that they were left somewhere here. Come on, girls. It's been a little while since I've been in this corner of Blowbunk. I'm not even seeing lion tracks. I'm seeing baboon tracks, really big baboon tracks. A troop of baboons is unlikely to be wandering around in an area where lionesses are hanging out, unless they're completely oblivious to the lionesses. I'm going to turn around. I don't think that they were this far south. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to head up north.
Jack begin lock of these meters with stations unlocked.
When you're desperate to see something, you see it even when it's not there. I'm just going to have a look up this road on the fence and then I'm going to turn around. I don't see anything that's significant. Also don't see any tracks. Okay, turn around. No. Thanks, Andrew. Let's test my driving, my 3-point turn skills. This is very different to a driving test because you're allowed to touch the objects in front of and behind you. Well, you don't really want to touch an electric fence. I'm good, we can get around now. There you go, 3-point turn. If I were doing my driving test, I would pass that one. Depending on whether or not you take points off for touching the trees. Let's see what all of you are up to.
Meeting the female keepers, stationary on the eastern fence, 2 stations there.
Mary, if you're talking about, so if the public chat are referring to the tortoise that fell into the camp can, then yes, we are definitely doing our best to make sure that animals are not compromised. I mean, it would be the opposite. What about up there? Is that a good idea, you think? I mean, I haven't done this fence in a while. Quite interesting. Maybe this is like, I get like a little leopard zing here. I don't know why. Yeah, look, the safety of animals is always more important than anything else. Also, you have to keep in mind that we've had a lot of rain recently, so that is very full. We have spoken about and are considering our options. There's also a stick in there so that most animals can get out, but we also watch that cam relatively closely. It's on in our office, so we do see what's going on. Of course, if something happens in the middle of the night, we can't see it, but we never put that water hole where it is. When we moved in, it was there, and so we set up a cam, which has been a very successful cam. But yes, it is at the moment. We have had 2 tortoises and the piglet that have fallen in there. Marula fruits everywhere. I don't think many people drive this road. Look at that. It's like not even a real track. Bumpy, bumpy. Oh, there's beautiful birds flying out of here. There was a brown-hooded kingfisher. What's going on here? There's a beautiful inward.
I'm believing that sighting on the fence, open rock.
We have had successful rescues of tortoises and that piglet. I think that, pardon? So I think that what's happening at the moment is because the water levels are so high, it just looks like an extension of the ground. Whereas when the water levels were a bit lower, firstly small creatures like, not that mongooses have fallen in, but the smaller creatures are not able to access the water because there's a bit of a drop. At the moment, recently it's been so full that it's like perfect. And so animals do fall in. That's what branches are for. It's also not a very deep water hole, but of course, like, there's nothing worse than seeing an animal come to harm because of a man-made creation. So we monitor it. And Gareth has spoken about, like a slope or something that's a bit easier for animals to get out of, but it would be on a trial and error basis because we could look into it and see what other people have done, but we like to hope that nothing's going to fall in, but since so many things have fallen in, we have to be careful about what we do to make sure that they can get out if they do fall in. This is a very overgrown section. I don't think I've actually. Is there something in the road ahead of us? What is that? Oh, it's the back end of an Impala. I got very excited about that. Hi, Di. You know what, Di? It's a great question, but the reality is a natural waterhole often wouldn't have such a severe step, such a severe drop-off for things to fall into. And also, yes, water definitely causes a lot of deaths in the wild, but it's still not great when the water source is a man-made water source, albeit an old man-made water source that, you know, we didn't put it in, but it is there. We still have to just try our best. Try our best. Okay. Watch out. Well, I'm enjoying being in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I know there's a fence, but I don't think I've driven this road since before I even started here. I think Brent brought us here when we were, I don't know, just hanging out with Gareth, Brent and I. But now, this is the first time since we've been here. 6 months we've been here. Can you believe it? On one hand, it feels like 2 weeks. And on the other hand, it feels like in a small eternity. I know that this area does go through the Rietspruit River. But I don't know if we'll stay on the fence for as long as that. Although it's beautiful. Yeah, it does. It's really beautiful. And then we can get into the fig tree forest, which, if we have any light left, in fact, I'm going to pick up speed because, oh, it's a bit of a distance, but it would be amazing. Okay, got to get your gears right, girl. It would be amazing to be in the river before we lose light, but I don't really foresee that happening unless we can stick at this pace and nothing exciting pops up. But you can see just from the veld here how woolly and wild it is. Most of the leadwood portion of this Rietspruit Game Reserve is a little bit more open. But this backs onto mango farms, and so it's okay as a buffer that it's a little bit more wild. Here the cicadas very... Oh, never mind. As I drove through the area, they just stopped. They were zinging. Not singing. Zinging. I feel like this would be such a great area for leopards. Lots of beautiful trees, marulas and knob thorns. It feels like an untouched area. Actually, it's exquisite. Exquisite. We're glad you didn't lurk, Di. It's nice to know that you've joined us. And jumping on bandwagons is something that's part of the human condition. We're getting to that tricky part of the evening where it looks It's not, you're not ready for a spotlight, but you kind of would like that little extra push. It's that awkward 10 minutes or so that, probably more than 10 minutes actually. It has also become a little overcast, which is contributing to how dark it looks. Very pretty here. The landscape is gradually shifting. We're moving down a slope that will eventually lead us into the riverbed. And then we will be in the fig tree forest. This is the section here. Okay, hold on. Whee! Nice. That little leopard that Andrew had on his last drive, his last live drive. Ooh. Oh, that's a drop off. People are going through it. Maybe I'll go on the right. What do you think? The right? Yeah, I'm going to go on the right. Take it nice and easy. I'm quite close to this termite mound. How do I look on the left? Yoo-hoo-hoo. Hold on, everybody! Ooh. My heart was in my throat that you all didn't get to see the drop-off that I was driving on, but I had two choices there. I either had to drive the cliff edge or go into the valley, and I chose against the valley. It's like an old road. Oh, not such an old road. Should we have a look? No, then we're not going to get to the Rietspruit. This is, I think, Leopard Road, which will... Why not? If it's called Leopard Road, we have to give it a bash. Oh, imagine if we found a leopard on Leopard Road. Anyway, as I was saying before I got to that, my valley and cliff tension, Andrew's, the leopard that Andrew saw that night, that was his last live drive, would probably be using areas much like this. Now, I don't know, I'm gonna go this way. Impala. There's lots of impala in this area. There's some exquisite marula trees, false marula trees, knobthorn trees. It's all happening. Oh, I'm getting a bit wet. Always like grassy. So you're getting wet? I'm getting a bit wet. Dear heavens, please do not open. We are far away from home. It would be a beautiful journey and then some. We are very far from home in the middle of absolutely nowhere. If there's an area on the whole reserve you do not want to be caught, this is it. We're in it, and it's drizzling. It's fine, it might subside. Andrew's showing you how heavy the clouds above us are, and that doesn't even do it justice. Right now, it's a very soft drizzle, but walking a fine line here. Oh, here comes the weather. Here it comes.
Upfield 7.
It's so unexpected. We were having a beautiful sunset and I didn't imagine that we were going to get drenched in rain. We're not getting drenched, but the rain is picking up. We're getting wet, not drenched. But we can handle this kind of drizzle. It's just a very light drizzle at the moment. Enough to make you want to cover your books and cameras, but not enough to make you feel cold or uncomfortable. It's so typical for summer in the Lowveld though to be getting these showers in the evening after the pressure system builds and then releases, especially when we've had really warm days. Today was probably not a really warm day, but enough to build some pressure. And now we're getting some respite. Andrew's cloth's just going to come over and get those rain droplets off. Okay, hold on. Andrew, how much time have you spent in this part of the reserve? So-so.
This is where Basil and I got trapped at Hornbill Drive. So.
Oh, is this where you got trapped with rain as well?
Yeah.
Hold on, wee. But it is going to become. It is. This. I think this is the right way. Yeah, the other one was track. And tracks are not as reliable as roads. So everyone, the rain is intensifying. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be able to continue. These droplets are also pretty big. But for now it's good. For now it's just refreshing. No, it's picking up. Yeah. Well, one thing I didn't expect was that we were going to get wet, but everybody we're getting quite wet, quite a bit of rain. So I think that we are going to have to call this drive just to be able to preserve the gear. We are going to be having a pack chat tomorrow. You'll be chatting to Andrew. So all the Andrew fans, make sure you don't miss tomorrow afternoon's pack chat. That's for our Patreons who are part of our Patreon package, part of our pack. You have a private, personalized chat with Andrew tomorrow. So I don't know, VM, are you with me? We are probably, well, I'll carry on until I hear from VM, but we can't continue the stream that much longer. We are now getting properly wet. Let's cover the books, cover the bags, everything's getting soppy. Okay, everybody. Well, this was an exciting end to summer safari. We don't know how many more summer safaris we're going to give you, but that means it's good because we don't know how many more rainy safaris we'll have with you. So we're going to say goodbye and we're going to say see you tomorrow. And it's been such fun to be out with you and to show you more of Rietspruit and to just be enjoying this lovely summer afternoon. Goodbye now. Oh my goodness, I need to cover all my books.
I assume we...